Part 20. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 191. They were in Yingwan's car, and Suhan was driving. Now that everyone knew, Yingwan introduced Suhan to Lin Mei. This is Suhan, who came to protect me. Succinct and to the point, Lin Mei understood without further explanation. Lin Mei seemed to remember that she had seen this man before. The man had a strong and dull face, was very tall, and was very upright. Now she knew exactly what he did. It seemed that Yingwan's group of people who delivered express every day were, to protect her. It was really making the best use of everything. Lin Mei was very polite. Hello. Even if they came to protect Yingwan, they were definitely not people she could meet at her level. But she couldn't lose the reputation of her sister. It was too petty. Suhan saw Lin Mei at this time. She was wearing a black cheongsam with gold thread, but she could suppress it. She was dressed very generously, had a slim figure, and a very bright appearance. She was indeed a lady from a noble family. He had met Lin Mei many times on weekdays, and he even checked her information clearly. He knew some of Lin Mei's dark history that she had forgotten. He just nodded after seeing her now. Hello. The man was cold and indifferent, which made Lin Mei look at him more. After all, the person who came to protect Yingwan had both good looks and such a good figure, which would always make people look at him twice. But Lin Mei had also met Si Lu, and couldn't help but sigh that if a person was excellent, the men around her would be top-notch men. Wan was really excellent. After getting in the car, Lin Mei also asked Qian Lanyi about her habits and precautions in a very measured way, so as not to say or do anything wrong. Yingwan just said, just treat it as meeting an ordinary elder. Grandma Qian is very good and kind. She is just interested in you and wants to meet you. Don't be nervous. What Yingwan said was reliable, and Lin Mei's heart was slightly settled after saying this. But she sat properly, and her slightly tight fingers still revealed a trace of her nervousness. Yingwan found it a little funny, but didn't say anything. As long as she saw it, Lin Mei wouldn't be so nervous. When they arrived at Qian Yian's house, she actually lived in a very ordinary old community. However, this community was not ordinary, and the location was relatively hidden. When she came in, she saw that the people standing guard at the door were all straight, and she knew at a glance that they were not ordinary security guards. They even had guns on their waists. Lin Mei sat up straight, and her scalp was a little tight. When they got inside, there were only a few buildings, all of which were relatively old, but the environment was very good. Suhan parked the car in the outermost parking lot. Two people came over to scan something Suhan handed over. When they saw Yingwan get out of the car, they saluted Yingwan with a standard military salute. Yingwan was already used to it. An old man who was walking his bird came over and saw Yingwan and Suhan, and said, Yingwan is here. Yingwan saw him and smiled. Grandpa Wu. Grandpa Wu was dressed in ordinary clothes and waved at them. You are here to see Lan Yi. She is at home now. Go up quickly. Yingwan nodded. When Lin Mei saw Grandpa Wu, she was stunned for a moment. Then she remembered something, as if she was going to have a seizure. This is a heavyweight of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs who was only occasionally seen on the national news channel before. Although he had retired a long time ago, Lin Mei still vaguely remembered him. However, apart from his serious appearance in the news, the smiling look he showed while walking his bird was something Lin Mei had never seen before. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 192. Any old man you meet is a heavyweight. Lin Mei felt that this was the pinnacle moment of her life. Seeing that both Yingwan and Suhan had calm expressions on their faces, she knew that these two people must have gotten used to it, and those who came to live here were definitely not ordinary people. She really wanted to take a photo and post it on her friend's circle to show off. However, She knew this was impossible, so she could only restrain herself as much as possible and follow Yingwan and the others. After going around a few corners, I also saw a few old ladies and old men who were just walking and chatting downstairs. They all had a more or less grand demeanor that ordinary people don't have. At a glance, you can tell what they used to do. I don't know Lin Mei at this moment, they are probably some hidden bosses. She also heard an old lady gossiping about her after they passed by. Hey, is that Yingwan's sister? Yes, he's pretty good looking. He seems to be a star. Really? What kind of show are you singing? Lin Mei. She felt that even if she was gossiped about by these big guys, it would be an honor. When they arrived at one of the buildings, there were people guarding the door. Suhan only stood at the bottom of the building waiting for them. Yingwan carried the gifts she brought and went up with Lin Mei. When she arrived at the door, she gave one to Lin Mei. You can give it to Grandma Xian later. Lin Mei naturally understood what Yingwan meant and was very excited. Wan, thank you so much. Yingwan, you're welcome. It was Grandma Xian who wanted to see you. She really didn't think about bringing Lin Mei here beforehand. A beautifully dressed woman opened the door and smiled when she saw Yingwan. Yingwan is here. This is Xian Lanyi's daughter-in-law. Yingwan called out, Aunt Chan, this is my sister Lin Mei. Lin Mei quickly called out, hello, Aunt Chan. Oh, I saw it on TV. Sure enough, your sister is more beautiful than on TV. Lin Shan smiled and invited them into the house that night. There were not many people in the house except Aunt Chan, a woman who was equally elegantly dressed. It's Xian Lanyi. But originally there was a child in the hall. The little chubby boy was very cute. But when he saw Yingwan, he ran into his room as if he had seen a ghost, closed the door, and did not dare to come out. Suinlan laughed loudly when she saw Yingwan. This child is still afraid of you. Wan, is this your sister? Lin Mei also smiled brightly and generously. Grandma Xian, this is our first time meeting you. Hello, I am Lin Mei, Wan's sister. Yes, I know. As expected, Grandma Xian was very kind, without any airs. Lin Mei calmed down a lot as soon as she spoke. She looked at the two people and smiled, told them to sit down, and then called out, little fatty, you have to meet people, come out and meet your teacher's sister. No one said a word. Yingwan smiled lightly and said, he's still afraid of me. Xianlan smiled and said, he should know what it means to have someone outside of you. Her grandson has followed her and her husband since he was a child. He is extremely smart. He has started to learn university knowledge by himself at a young age. He is very proud in the whole compound. From a young age, he looks down on everyone and thinks everyone is stupid, even Suinlan. Can't hold him down. It wasn't until Xianlan asked Yingwan to give him a few lessons that he encountered a Waterloo in his life and learned a lesson. He was tortured to death by Yingwan's professional knowledge. From then on, he looked at Yingwan as if he were a devil. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 193. No, now that I see Yingwan coming, I don't even leave the door. He was afraid that Yingwan would catch him and ask questions. Other children in the community avoided him like a devil, but now he avoided Yingwan like a snake and a scorpion. As soon as Xianlan finished saying this, his eyes fell on Lin Mei and asked gently, how old is Lin Mei this year? Lin Mei sat on the same spot, her body upright, but she looked a little reserved. She smiled and said, I am 26 years old. When Yu Wenza was born late, she was just over a year old and couldn't remember anything at all, so she didn't know anything about having a second sister. Otherwise, how would he know about Yingwan's existence? 2 years older than Wan Wan. Suinlan nodded and smiled. I have also watched the TV series you acted in. When I had nothing to do, I didn't know that you were still Ying Wan's sister. Lin Mei's face turned red. Yes, really. This is not a very honorable thing. Lin Mei is a bit obsessed with the TV series she stars in. Her acting skills are not rubbish but not great either. Mainly, she plays relatively exaggerated plots. I didn't expect that a scientist like Xian Lanyi would also like to watch TV series. How shameful she is. It was almost like a public execution. Suinlan laughed. Why are you shy? When I have nothing to do, I like to watch the TV series played by you young people. Your acting skills are much better than others. Suinlan has been exposed to the internet since her early years and prefers to use tenses. She watches whatever is popular among young people. When she is not bored, she catches up on variety shows and TV series, or she waits for flowers and birds. Life is simple and comfortable. Lin Mei only felt as if her face was expanding infinitely in a limited space. She who originally thought it was like a public execution suddenly felt that being praised by the boss like this made 8 generations of her ancestors proud. But, it's her who has the light. Thinking of this, Lin Mei also smiled shyly. You are too kind to say that. My acting skills are only average. There is still a lot of room for improvement. There are many seniors in the industry who have better acting skills than me. Suinlan smiled and said, it's already pretty good. Aunt Chan poured a cup of scented tea for several people and called the fat man inside the room to come out. Grandma Xian's husband's surname is Zhao, and his name is Zhao Qiaqiang. In that era, people's names were very casual, and they were just related to the power of the country, but Grandma Xian's husband was still very famous in China, but not as famous as Grandma Xian. He is also a professor at Qingbei University. Now that he is quite old, he no longer teaches, but he prefers to delve into some things and often runs outside. He happened to be away from home at noon today. Aunt Chan went to knock on the little fat man's room just now. Little fatty Zhao, there are guests coming. Come out quickly and don't be mean. Sister Wan Wan is still your teacher. Do you have the basic respect for the teacher? You have to. If you don't come out, I'll go in and deal with you. Lin Mei was sweating after hearing this. She didn't expect that in such a high-class intellectual family, the way of being a mother would be so simple and crude. The soundproofing of the old house was not very good, and Zhao Xiaopang's muffled voice came from inside, I don't. Perhaps because of her decisive voice, Aunt Chan's expression immediately changed. Zhao Hanyue. No matter where you are, if you use the name method, it means that the mother is very irritable at this time. About 3 seconds later, there was a grinding sound inside. Zhao Xiaopang opened the door, revealing his chubby face, and looked at the people outside through the crack in the door. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 194. Others looked at the scene with amusement. Lin Mei watched even more carefully. Zhao Xiaopang still looks cute. Although his face is chubby now, he can tell that he has good facial features. If he loses weight, he will definitely look like a handsome boy. Just eat well now. He first stared at Ying Wan, then slowly turned his eyes to Lin Mei. Who is this? Her voice is pretty cool, but she looks like she's 7 or 8 years old. Ying Wan spoke, this is my sister, Lin Mei. Lin Mei couldn't help but straighten her body, looked at Fatty Zhao with a soft smile, and said softly, hello, kid, my name is Lin Mei. Zhao Xiaopang's eyes widened, you are her sister, aren't you smarter than her? Lin Mei. Suddenly, he received a critical hit of 120,000 points. How should she answer this shameful question? Suinlan laughed loudly, little fat, come out quickly. Teacher Wan Wan finally came to celebrate Grandma's birthday. You can't be naughty. Come out and say hello to Teacher Wan Wan and Sister Lin Mei formally. otherwise I'll ask your grandpa to come back and beat you up. Lin Mei. Zhao Xiaopang reluctantly walked out with his hands behind his back, pouting at the corner of his mouth, and said, "Hello, Sister Wan Wan, hello, Sister Mai Mei." Lin Mei was struck by his cuteness and was extremely soft-hearted. "Hello, Hanyue." She came with Yingwan and was not that familiar with the Zhao family. She couldn't just follow her by her nickname naturally. Wouldn't it be too casual? Zhao Hanyue called someone, but he still looked at her with some suspicion at this moment. Because he had never seen Lin Mei before, and now it was his first time to see her, he was naturally curious. Xianlan said, "People say hello to you, why don't you say anything?" It wasn't that she was blaming, it was just a very gentle inquiry. Zhao Hanyue responded slowly, "Hello." Of course Lin Mei wouldn't care about this little thing. She waved her hand and said with a smile, "Hanyue doesn't know me, so he must be curious." Yingwan was listening to their chat. Normally, she didn't talk much. Xianlan took care of Lin Mei and told her some things, but she seemed to know something and didn't say anything about the Lin family during the chat. It seems that Yingwan only has a sister. Zhao Xiaopang was playing with toys next to him. Lin Mei saw that his toys were all those kind of digital grids, a toy that required logic and IQ to play with. She thought that children were smart because they were different, and even the toys they played with were hers. Can't understand. At noon, the nanny at home prepared the meal, and they were the only ones to eat. Because Suanlan and his family all work in the agency, they are usually busy and rarely come back. Lin Mei's performance was remarkable. Xianlan answered whatever she asked, not being very formal, nor did she appear too familiar. The main reason is that Xianlan can easily let down his guard when he has a gentle temper. After finishing the meal, the two of them were about to leave. Xianlanyi and Yingwan whispered a few words. With Lin Mei around, there were some things she couldn't say. Now that she saw Yingwan, she whispered, "Did your parents at home come to see you?" Yingwan lowered her eyes and smiled lightly, "You don't have to worry about these things." Suanlan listened one by one and sighed, "This sister of yours seems to be honest, how can you have such parents?" Xianlan still heard about the Lin family's affairs. But when I really knew it, it was still a bit incredible. Becoming the richest by farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 195. How can there be parents in the world who don't love their children? Have you never told them what you do? Xianlan felt that if the Lin family knew what Yingwan did, would they still have this attitude? Yingwan said clearly at this moment, "If you need me to say more, don't you think it's too redundant? This kind of family is too much." Xianlan also understood, and she smiled again, "It doesn't matter, Grandma Xian is here, you can get along well with my sister, if anything happens, come and see Grandma Xian, you are so old, don't I always hold something in my heart?" Yingwan nodded and Suanlan smiled, "Okay, go and do your things. Since you have decided to take a year off, don't worry about other things and just have fun. You can do whatever you want. Others I don't care." Yingwan smiled. After she went downstairs, Lin Mei was already waiting below. She seemed to be talking to Suhan about something. When she saw Yingwan coming down, Lin Mei was a little excited again, "Wan Wan." She originally wanted to ask Yingwan if there was anything wrong with her performance, but she was afraid that Suanlan would get a bad impression. Yingwan just smiled lightly at her, and Lin Mei knew there was no need to ask. This question is too redundant, as if it seems that Xianlanyi is such an unapproachable person. In fact, Lin Mei is still dreaming. Because Xianlanyi not only chatted with her, but also left her phone number so that she could visit more often when she had time. What a face-saving thing. If she told Su Xiao, she would turn into a lemon juice. After sitting in the car again, Lin Mei's mood was visibly good. She couldn't help but smile, Grandma Xian has a good temperament and looks even better. She made such great contributions to the country when she was young. She is really a role model for our women. Yingwan, you should say this in front of her. Lin Mei blushed. She was a little embarrassed to blow a rainbow fart in front of her face. She looked at Yingwan again, with some incredible temptation. Grandma Xian taught you before. When did you come to learn from her? Not only knowing Yingwan's past, we can also know how smart Yingwan is. About 9 years old. Yingwan said calmly, at that time, I was studying at the special training center. I learned everything, but I was still a little confused. I knew too many things, but I only had so much time. I wasn't sure which project I liked more. I would decide later. As for the direction, Grandma Xian took me in the end, and I focused on this aspect after going to Hatton. Lin Mei. There are too many things to learn and not enough time. I am not sure which one I prefer. Listen. Is this human language? They often feel hopeless when learning a subject because they don't have enough time. No matter how much time is given, they can never learn a subject. This is the world of academic masters gods. It is not something that mere mortals can look up to. Lin Mei's heart was still filled with lemons, thinking that the Lin family actually had this gene, but she didn't inherit even 1/10 of it. If it weren't for the similarity in appearance, no one would believe that she was Yingwan's sister. After all, even Su Xiao is always suspicious. She asked again, when did you realize that you were different from others? Yingwan glanced at her, what's the difference? Are everyone different? Lin Mei. Nothing is the same. How can mortals compare with gods? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 196. She changed the question, you must have skipped grades when you were a kid. After all, she didn't know much. No. Yingwan remembered her childhood and said, when I was 3 years old, my grandfather asked someone to take me to study. Later, I entered the special training center. There were many things to learn and many teachers. Later, the teacher couldn't keep up with my progress, so I took the exam and went to Hudson to continue my studies. After all, Hudson is the world's #1 institution of higher learning, so it must have its own strengths. The country sent her there for better learning. It's just that it involves some things that can't be said, so Yingwan didn't say it. Lin Mei. The teacher can't keep up with the progress. She wiped her face and felt deeply that she was simply self-torturing. Why should she humiliate herself? So she stopped asking. But she couldn't help her excitement and sent a message to Su Xiao on WeChat. I have the phone number of Xian Lanyi's grandmother. Su Xiao. Su Xiao, lemons on the lemon tree, you and me under the lemon tree. Su Xiao, are you worthy? .jpg. Su Xiao posted several lemon pictures in succession to express her shock and envy and jealousy about this matter. She had a very good relationship with Lin Mei. She had been guiding her since she entered the circle. After a few years, she thought that Lin Mei would be an ordinary star in her life, with good popularity at most, earning money that many people could not earn in their lifetime, and then retiring. She did not expect that one day she would be able to hold her sister's thigh, rise to prominence, and make her family prosperous. Don't say that making money in the entertainment industry is great. Can making money be compared with such connections? Xian Lanyi is a national treasure. Ordinary people can't see her in their lifetime, but Lin Mei can see her and can contact her. If she casually leaks a message, I don't know how many people will come. Still care about the resources in the entertainment industry? Of course, she knows that Lin Mei can't do this. And now the problem is not Xian Lanyi, Lin Mei's sister is really a treasure. This is the real boss. Su Xiao is now sincerely jealous of Lin Mei every day. She also mocked the Lin family countless times, saying that they lost a watermelon, and that the waste Lin Baojun was not even a sesame seed, but they treated him as a treasure. The Lin family will be humiliated in the future. Now she has offended Yingwan to death, and even Lin Mei's heart is gone. The future Lin family, tisk. Lin Mei looked at Su Xiao's envy, jealousy, and hatred, and felt happy in her heart. Of course, she knew that these things could not be told casually, and she only sighed sincerely. Wan Wan, I now feel that the most correct thing I have done in my life is to come to you with a thick skin. Yingwan said casually, it's okay. If Lin Mei didn't come to find her, she would not pay attention to the Lin family, and of course she wouldn't pay attention to it now. But after all, the relationship with Lin Mei has changed. It also gave her a second relative in the sense of life. Just when Lin Mei was about to talk to her, her mobile phone suddenly rang. She looked at the number and it was Yu Wenzi's. She thought about it, was silent for a while, and still hung up the phone. At that time, she had said so much, she really didn't want to answer Yu Wenzi's call. If she really owed the Lin family, she would have paid a lot in these years. Yingwan didn't care about her behavior, just looked out the car window. They definitely couldn't go back tonight, so they would stay in the capital for another day. After the call was hung up, Yu Wenzi seemed to be mad and sent a message. Since you don't answer the phone, I will spread the news to the public. You will no longer be the daughter of my Lin family. In this life, you will never think of me recognizing you again, and you will never use the name of the Lin family to get any resources from the entertainment industry. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 197. Seeing this message, it would be a lie to say that I didn't feel hurt. Although I knew that Yu Wenzi would be heartless, when she really sent this message, she was actually certain of something. When Lin Mei saw it, her expression suddenly became desolate. She had been in the Lin family for so many years, and she had tried her best to be nice to them. What was it for? It was because she hoped that the Lin family would look at her more. Now she found that everything she did was in vain. They would never see her in their eyes. It was just because she was a daughter. Lin Mei's expression did not escape Yingwan's eyes. She just glanced at Lin Mei and guessed something, but she would not ask. Lin Mei knew that she was in the car now, and in front of Yingwan. She blinked and forced back the bitterness. She looked at the message again, and finally deleted it. Whatever. Since she had decided to immigrate and had nothing to do with the Lin family from now on, she would just pretend that she had no family like the Lin family. For so many years, she had long since not owed the Lin family anything. The Lin family was not harsh on her, but they were not generous either. They just had what they should have, but they didn't want anything extra. In the past few years of working, she had contributed almost all the money she earned to the family. Lin Baojun and his family at least had their own real estate and investment shares, which were bought by Yu Wenzi and his family. However, her own house was bought with her own money. With such a clear difference in treatment, Lin Mei didn't feel that she still owed the Lin family anything. The car drove to Lin Mei's home. When she got off the car, Lin Mei had already returned to her usual bright and beautiful appearance. She looked at Yingwan and smiled, "You can stay at my place tonight. I don't have anything else in my house, but I still have a few rooms." Yingwan nodded and didn't say anything. Su Xiao knew that Lin Mei was back, and immediately came to Lin Mei from her own home. It was not surprising to see Yingwan there, but she just said to Lin Mei, "We will officially join the group tomorrow. The plane ticket has been booked for you. The flight is at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning." Lin Mei didn't say anything about Yu Wenzi's side. She arranged a room for Yingwan, and she and Su Xiao went to discuss work matters. Yingwan received a call here. This call was quite unexpected because it was from Lin Jiangguo. Lin Jiangguo is Yingwan's grandfather, but for Yinghuan, this relationship is as good as it doesn't exist. Lin Jiangguo is now an entrepreneur. His image and work style are not like Yu Wenzi and others. However, since Yu Wenzi and others can do such things, it can also be seen what kind of person Lin Jiangguo is. It is not surprising that he called today. Because Si Lu dealt with his grandson, he naturally knew that Si Lu and Yinghuan had a complicated relationship. He couldn't imagine how his second granddaughter, who was living outside, could know a person like Si Lu. The Si family is an absolute behemoth in the imperial capital. The Lin family can't even touch the corner of the other party's clothes. Otherwise, if Lin Baojun offended Si Lu, how could he beat Lin Baojun half to death and send him abroad overnight with his love for his grandson? He did this to save his grandson. Lin Jiangguo naturally didn't dare to think about what the relationship between Yinghuan and Si Lu was. And why would Si Lu be in a remote and backward place like Huayang village? All of this was something Lin Jiangguo dared not think about. He thought about it a lot, but still felt that something was wrong, so he called Yinghuan. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 198. Lin Jiangguo asked Yinghuan to return to Lin's house as soon as he came up. When Yinghuan heard this, he laughed lightly. What you said, people who don't know would really think that I have something to do with your family. Lin Jiangguo's tone was not as good as the rest of the Lin family. On the contrary, he said calmly, you are always my granddaughter, Lin Jiangguo. Fallen leaves have returned to their roots. You have been living outside for more than 20 years. Is it possible that you will not return to the Lin family? You come to the Lin family, I will let you learn how to handle the Lin family's affairs. You can have a better future in this life, and you don't have to stay in that country. You and your sister can also continue to record your programs. Grandpa will not stop you. Yinghuan listened patiently to what he said and chuckled. You want to know what my relationship is with Si Lu? It was so simple and direct that it made Lin Jiangguo speechless. You don't have to guess. Si Lu and I do know each other, but my relationship with Si Lu doesn't apply to your Lin family. For me, I have nothing to do with the Lin family. Mr. Lin, you should understand this a little. She said this calmly and indifferently, just stating a fact. She smiled again and said, it's a fact that your grandson offended Si Lu. You don't have to use me to build a good relationship with Si Lu. He won't see this. The reason why I answered your call is also to make it clear to you, I have nothing to do with you, and I will no longer answer calls from your Lin family. Lin Jiangguo was slightly angry when he heard her indifferent words. I know you have resentment. You just blame your parents for the things they did. They are confused, but you are always a member of the Lin family. They gave you life. It's a fact, you can't be so unfilial. Unfilial, Yinghuan lowered her eyes, if you mean giving me away after I was born, but that person sold me on the way and caused me to almost die on the way, if that is also a favor to me, I really can't say what. There is only one person in my family. He is my grandfather Ying He. He has passed away. You must understand this. Mr. Lin, I am too lazy to listen to your nonsense now. I only advise you, it is best not to do it. Superfluous thing, this is my last patience. To show my respect for you, you can hang up first. Lin Jiangguo paused, you. Yinghuan, it seems you don't want to hang up, so I'll hang up first. After she said this, she hung up the phone neatly. Hearing the blind tone on the phone, Lin Jiangguo had a sullen face and did not call again. How did Yinghuan know what happened back then? She was just a little baby back then and didn't know anything, but she was able to know these secrets. He also knew the person who came to blackmail the Lin family, but they couldn't find a good way other than giving money. Yinghuan's matter is indeed a time bomb. If the truth about her being thrown out is revealed, the Lin family will be affected. It's all the fault of the useless son and daughter-in-law, who do things without thinking at all. One daughter is also raised, and two daughters are also raised. It's not like the Lin family can't afford to raise them, so they have to give them away. Thinking of this, Lin Jiangguo's eyebrows turned a little cruel. The key is that there is an inexplicable SILV in the middle. Since he knows Yingwan, Lin Jiangguo is reluctant to cut off Yingwan's line, but he does not dare to do unnecessary things. Still, it's a bit difficult to handle. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 199. When Yingwan called, Su Xiao and Lin Mei had already discussed it. Su Xiao also listened to Lin Mei's story about what happened today, and couldn't help but feel jealous. It was too much. I didn't expect that Lin Mei had met those big guys now. She didn't know if she would have the honor to meet the big guys in her life, let alone have a meal. When Yingwan came out of the room, she asked Lin Mei, "Do you have new slippers?" "Yes, yes." Lin Mei usually had nothing to do, so she bought extra slippers for the guests at home. While she was looking for them for Yingwan, she said, "There are new toothbrushes. If you still need anything, tell me, and I'll call my assistant to send it over." "Yingwan, nothing is missing." "That's it? You're going to join the crew tomorrow? Film well." Hearing Yingwan's words, Lin Mei felt her scalp tingling for some reason. Yes, yes. She must film well and must not let down this big production. Otherwise, she won't forgive herself. Su Xiao couldn't help but burst out laughing when he saw the well-behaved celebrity who was usually praised by others. After Yingwan went to the bathroom to wash up, Lin Mei came over and glared at Su Xiao. "What are you laughing at?" "Su Xiao, ha 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 ha, are you very nervous?" After all, Yingwan is also a professor. She actually saw a little bit of the tone of a teacher to a student in his appearance just now. "Film well. You are under a lot of pressure now. Think about how much you will embarrass your sister if you don't film well." Lin Mei. When they were on the show, others were still worried that Yingwan would embarrass Lin Mei, but now Lin Mei is afraid that she will embarrass Yingwan by accident. Especially knowing that so many big guys are still paying attention to them behind the scenes, Lin Mei is so stiff. You have to do your best when filming, otherwise when other big guys are watching TV, she will get a headache just thinking about this is Yingwan's sister. Oh, her acting is so bad, are they really sisters? Such similar scenes will make her scalp numb. Seeing her nervous look, Su Xiao couldn't help laughing, and then said, "Okay, you take a rest first, don't think too much, we still have to go to the airport tomorrow morning. Ask Yingwan if she will go back tomorrow morning, then you can go to the airport with us." Lin Mei nodded. She came over and asked Yingwan, "Wan, I will go to the crew tomorrow, should we set a similar time, then go to the airport together, I will take you." Yingwan brushed her teeth, and said after a while, "You go first, I will go back in the afternoon, I have something to do in the morning." Bai Yan notified her of an emergency meeting, mainly to discuss the cooperation between Wan and Tencent. Several executives of the consortium will come, since she is here now, just go to participate. Lin Mei didn't know, just then call me when you are done. Yingwan must be busy with something different from her, she wisely didn't ask more. The next day, Lin Mei, Su Xiao and her assistant took a car to the airport early in the morning, asked Yingwan to have a good rest, and she told Yingwan all the passwords at home. Yingwan's meeting was at 10 o'clock in the morning. The headquarters of Wanteng Group was in the imperial capital, but to be honest, she and Bai Ya had been in the company for so long, and she could only count the number of times she had been to the company on one hand. In the past, all meetings were held via video conference. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 200. The Wanteng headquarters is located in the most prime area of the imperial capital, towering over all the surrounding tall buildings and is the tallest building. Everyone knows Wanteng's special status. Although the boss behind it does not know, this is an enterprise that the country trusts very much. After all, the rapid development of China's science and technology network is basically inseparable from Wanteng. In fact, not many people have explored who the real owner of Wanteng is. Because at this point, it doesn't matter who is the boss. Ordinary people have no way to know. Today's Wanteng headquarters is also very calm. During working hours, the lobby on the first floor is usually filled with very important customers. When Ying came last time, he took the management elevator directly from the underground parking lot, so it didn't matter this time. She carries a pass card with her, which Wanteng can use anywhere in the world. She can go anywhere as long as it belongs to Wanteng Industry. She was wearing a white shirt, black casual trousers, and sneakers today. This is a simple outfit that she prefers, mainly for convenience, and since she has lived in a rural area for a long time, she is not suitable for wearing clothes that are too troublesome. Her hair was also tied up, making her look delicate and fresh. She was a fresh and beautiful woman that caught everyone's eyes. It is also easy for people to feel that she seems to come from outside to play. Only internal executives have information about Ying Wan. When walking into the Wanteng headquarters building from the outside, the futuristic-style reception hall on the first floor and the vast expanse of strong light silver color give people the feeling of stepping into the future world. Which is also the main style of Wanteng, with the theme of scientific and technological progress. When she came in, no one stopped her, probably thinking she was here to consult about something. To enter the elevator, you will be stopped by the security checkpoint outside. You can only pass by swiping your card. There are front desk and special security guards nearby to prevent any strangers from intruding. The front desk kept a polite smile, but there were not many people now, and everyone at work was in place. When they saw Ying Wan coming in, most of the people in the lobby on the first floor turned their eyes. Some people thought she looked familiar, mainly because they recognized her as Ying Wan, who was on the show with Lin Mei. Others simply think she is beautiful. Ying Wan walked to the security checkpoint, took out the black metal card and swiped it. Suddenly, a technologically intelligent AI female voice appeared in the entire hall on the first floor, with a sense of boundless emptiness. "Welcome, boss." Just this sentence resounded throughout the entire hall on the first floor. For a moment, the smile at the front desk froze. Almost everyone was shocked by this sudden sound. Of course they know what it is. This female voice will only sound when the real big boss appears. This was a problem that the vice president once said in the company. No matter where the big boss appears, as long as she swipes her card, Wanteng's AI will recognize it and make a statement. It can also make people know her identity instantly, so as not to blindly recognize the big boss. This intelligent and soft female voice also sounded throughout the building. In an instant, the whole building was boiling. "The boss is coming, the boss is coming. Oh my God, I actually met the boss in my lifetime. Ah, hurry up and get back to work, the boss is here to check on you." When Ying Wan downstairs passed the security checkpoint, she frowned slightly. When did he revise this order again? Bells and whistles.